Okay, today's video it's part 11 about increasing strength and muscle mass, and it's about some supplements of the golden age, Inositol, Choline, and TMG. Okay, first I want to give some short summary because the video is probably will be too long, and I advise you to download the presentation. The link will be in the description, and because it is again has references, has links, you can click on links and to learn more, because actually it is quite not easy, not simple subject. Okay, to follow Vince Gironda recommendations, and he is my hero, bodybuilders need a lot of healthy fat and protein with very low or no carbohydrates. Best sources of healthy food are high quality eggs, beef and beef liver. Eggs and beef liver are champions as food sources of choline. Choline is also necessary for radical life extension and rejuvenation. Recommended amount of choline is 2 grams per day from food and supplements. As for inositol, it is produced industrially at low cost, and recommended dose of inositol in supplements is 1-2 grams a day at night to improve sleep. I want to remind visitors of my channel that I am 65 years old and my main goal is the rejuvenation of my body. I consider it as my religious duty to build and maintain my body as a temple of the Holy Spirit that may last for centuries ahead. So I'm not sure I will live for eternal, but I try. From the available level of knowledge, I concluded that bodybuilding, if it is done properly, can help radical life extension instead of its shortening. The high-fat carnivore diet with intermittent fasting is a must for me, while variables are vitamins, supplements, and protocols to use them, as well as protocols of the working out. Please download the presentation. As I said, the link is in the description. Inositol is a sugar alcohol with half the sweetness of sucrose that is abundant in the brain and other mammalian tissues. Inositol is produced in the kidney and other organs from glucose, typically in amounts of few grams per day. It was once considered as vitamin B8. Inositol triphosphate plays an important role in transport of calcium ions and muscle contraction, because again, you know, muscle contract when calcium ions migrate to the cells. Inositol and choline, this is vitamin B4, were used by golden age bodybuilders long before testosterone, insulin, and growth hormone were available to enhance muscular hypertrophy. Okay, we can see inositol and glucose. It's really quite similar molecules. We have here a hydroxyl group, here only oxygen, and so this is the only difference. And you can find the supplements available in combination of inositol only as powder, or inositol and choline in pills or in capsules, whatever. So you can do it this or that, and this combination was quite common for bodybuilders. Both these pseudo vitamins are dissolvable in water and can be procured either from food or synthesized in our own body. 2 of them were thought to improve heart health, allow athletes to train longer in the gym, while at the same time lose excessive body fat. There is an anecdotal evidence that choline and inositol combined are very useful for people on ketogenic or low carb diets. And this is, you can find this opinion in the reference, in the link. So in my humble opinion, that the high protein keto diet that includes 2.3 grams of animal protein per kilo of lean body weight is the only healthy diet for elders and bodybuilders. If you follow my advice, then this is again my main goal is life extension. If you follow advice of some other experienced bodybuilders who give the advice and you have to consume a lot of carbohydrates and to get the bulky weight, then okay, it is up to you. But again, it depends. I rely on opinion of Vince Gironda, who is my hero, and he was the most famous and best, I think, best coach of the bodybuilding. Inositol helps to increase the endogenous testosterone level release and normalize the man's hormonal balance. In doses 1-2 grams per day, it is used by some patients with insomnia and sleep disorders. Better sleep and recovery helps athletes to increase intensity of exercises and muscular hypertrophy. And it also helps to stop cravings for carbohydrates in some people because it is sweet. Inositol supplements seem to be well tolerated by most people. However, mild side effects have been reported with doses of 12 grams a day or higher when inositol was used or is used to treat anxiety and binge eating. Okay, so we can see this inositol. This is just one of the possible isomers of the substance. It is actually not. It is most the largest part of the inositol mix, because industrial produced it is a mix. And we can see here that in this paper, in this reference, that it is important for athletic performance, and it improves glucose oxidation in muscles, drives glucose into skeletal muscle, improves glycogen synthesis, improves insulin sensitivity in all organs, improves fat burning, drives creatine into the muscle, drives calcium into the bones and muscles. And okay, in the next we can see that okay, then number 8, it is that it is important for other things, including insulin to work, Alzheimer, hydration, skin health, lung health, type 2 diabetes, gestational diabetes, and pregnancy, and then for women some problem with eggs, and fatty liver, and depression, and panic attacks, anti-cancerogenic also substance, and it also helps to other hormones like thyroid stimulating hormone to work, and again, as I said, for women it is follicle stimulating hormone to work, because if a lady or women developed insulin resistance, then it is difficult for them to get pregnant. One of inositol main functions appears to be its involvement as a phospholipid component of cell membranes and lipoproteins. Also, multiple intracellular signal pathways are mediated by inositol phospholipids and inositol phosphates. Okay, then again, it's very quite complicated question, and you can go to the link and to learn more. And supplementation of inositol, it is actually the main part of the inositol. If you buy inositol, it is inositol. It is often beneficial for patients with conditions characterized by insulin resistance and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and poor sperm development and endoplasmic reticulum. So the endoplasmic reticulum, it is organelle in the cell, so it is all cells can benefit from this supplement. Okay, here we can see a slide, a picture of the how membrane is made from the fatty acids and phosphates, and we see here that structure normal that it has an hydrophilic head and hydrophobic tail, and choline is a part of this phosphate and fatty acids, And here again we see this structure of this of the cells. So choline can be choline, and also you see inositol. Inositol also can be part of the this phospholipids. Phospholipids is a part of the membranes, and then we have this structure which helps to make the membrane of cells more flexible and more stable. So it is very big part of the of our body functioning. Inositol helps to treat endocrine disorders as well as to regulate the menstrual cycle. Minor inositol might be considered one of the insulin-sensitive substances in the treatment of metabolic syndrome. Okay, and then you can check this. I just collect all available information from publications and put here some review of literature. So it was so in a clinical study, 4 grams a day of inositol reduced blood triglyceride level by average 34% and total cholesterol by 22%. Okay, improvements in blood pressure and blood sugar were also seen in comparison with the placebo group. So you can read the publication to learn more details. Inositol is an effective growth promoter. Okay, it gains for bodybuilders. Like insulin, inositol is highly anabolic substance, thus leading to faster muscle building. Recent studies have revealed the potential link between free inositol blood content and improved growth response in animals. Okay, it is for animals, but actually it works for I believe that it has to work for humans too, because bodybuilders use it. Since inositol has also been shown to be an important regulator of the transport and deposition of fat, it may be possible to use inositol to support the growth of lean animals and, of course, lean body of the bodybuilders. In addition, it affects chemical messengers in the brain, such as serotonin and dopamine. Okay. So again, it is very potent substance to calm you down, to make you sleep better at night, and to stop some anxiety and to feel better. Okay, let's go next. Choline, because again, bodybuilders were using inositol together with choline, and choline is a vitamin-like essential nutrient and a methyl donor involved in many physiological processes, including normal metabolism and transport of lipids, methylation reactions, and synthesis of neurotransmitters. Choline is synthesized in the liver, but not in adequate amounts. It is only 550 milligrams per day for adults to keep our body healthy. Choline plays a crucial role in modulating muscle fat metabolism, muscle protein homeostasis, as well as modulation of inflammation and autophagy. Choline in supplements that are marketed for fat reduction or weight loss is usually combined with L-carnitine and other B vitamins, especially inositol. Okay, so it's you can read, and it is really very common to combine with other vitamins and especially inositol, because it was proven to be efficient. Aside from supplements, bodybuilders get choline from foods such as liver, beef, eggs, poultry, fish. For instance, one large egg contains about 130 milligrams of choline. And choline is required to produce acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter, and another substance which is S-adenosyl methionine, and that is a universal methyl donor. Okay, this is the food which is, I believe, the best for bodybuilding and the best for lifespan extension. Okay, so you see all proteins, a lot of fat, a lot of healthy fat, which includes butter, which includes fatty cheese, but also eggs. Eggs have a lot of good quality fat. And fatty beef and pork. Pork is good. Lamb, pork, all red meat is good. Beef especially good. Okay, so choline is a precursor of acetylcholine, an important neurotransmitter involved in muscle control, circadian rhythm and memory, and many other neural functions. Choline intake was positively associated with cognitive functions. Okay, so it is nootropic. It helps to improve memory. In another study, a high plasma concentration of free choline were associated with a greater performance at cognitive tests, assessing sensory motor speed, perceptual speed, executive function, and global cognition in individuals of the old age. It is in range of 74 years old. There was some medical trial. It was proven that choline is very much important. So here we see chemical composition of the choline. It is here. It is long chain polymer. And also we see composition of the acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is produced in steps from TMG, which is betaine or 3-methylglycine. This is the substance, so it gets through this and then get converted to acetylcholine. Okay, acetylcholine, how it works? It is if we have the transmission of the impulse, then we have this acetylcholine, which is important to transmit the impulse from our nervous system to muscles. Yes, here, okay, I not go into details, but the synapse, it is quite normal picture of the synapse, and acetylcholine is absolutely important for our nervous system and muscles to work. So it is, we need a lot of choline, a lot. Choline is used in the synthesis of certain phospholipids, that are phospholipids, that are essential structural components of cell and lipoprotein membranes. Fat and cholesterol from consumed food are transported by this I go a little bit into some mechanics how we consume fat, because consumption of fat and using fat as a fuel is a key or base of my diet, what I propose to do, that we have to stay in the ketosis. And it means we have to use fat as source of energy, not glucose. Glucose is shortening our lifespan, and if we use ketones, then it is much better. As I was explaining in previous videos, that our body can produce some amount of glucose different ways from glycerol. Also, it can produce by a process which is glucose neogenesis from amino acids. Okay, but this is not much efficient way. So, but again, if we need some glucose, it is produced in the liver. Okay, how it works? Okay, the fat and cholesterol from consumed food from our guts are transported by kilomicrons in lymph, first in lymph, because I was already explaining in some videos that fat is transported not by blood first, it is go first to lymph. And lymph, and then only then it is mixed with blood, and next organ which is going is liver. In the liver, a very low density lipoproteins are formed. So liver not taken chylomicrons only transport from guts to liver, but liver is making a very low density lipoproteins as a transport vehicle itself. It is producing some lipids and esters of cholesterol with fatty acids and monoglyceride of fatty acids, etc. Some other substances, including cholesterol and including phospholipids. So it is all produced in liver, and the big size vehicle, which is very low density lipoprotein, gets further and it is formed in liver to transport the triglycerides, phospholipids, and cholesterol esters by the bloodstream to other tissues. Okay, the fat molecules carried in this very low density lipoprotein are metabolized in muscle and adipose tissue, releasing free fatty acids, while intermediate density lipoproteins are formed. Okay, let's look at these pictures first. It is probably more easy to understand. So we have this. Inside we have guts, the inside of the guts, and then what is happening, we have the fatty acids which are already formed by action of enzyme to fat, and then these fatty acids go to the epithelium cells, and in the epithelium cells they react with glycerol and produce triglyceride. Okay, fatty acids get converted to fat, actually, to triglyceride, and then what is happening? This big vessel, which is chylomicron are formed to transport this fat from guts to lymph. Okay, so you can click on the picture. If you download the presentation, you can click on the picture and read this long article about conversion and how fat is digested in our body. This very good article. There is very many important details. Even I tried to. It's okay. I didn't have time to read it all, but I know at least some important steps. So it is actually for me. It's not necessary for me to go into very so many details, but okay. This what this is. That fatty acids from our guts together with the glycerol, they get inside, they produce triglycerides, so fat molecules. Then these fat molecules are transported in this chylomicron. This is the structure of this chylomicron. It is big, spherical vessel with lipoproteins at the surface, and it has some even some proteins, apolipoproteins, which is and again this fat inside, and phospholipids produce the envelope, produce the membrane. Okay, what's happening next? From lymph, this chylomicron go to next organ. They go to liver. They go to liver. Liver takes this fatty acids and triglyceride, and also all this cholesterol, etc. And liver produce a so-called already very low density lipoprotein. So a lot of enzymes are used inside, and then liver is releasing this very low density lipoprotein to the blood. Okay, then it goes to the blood, and when it is going, then these fatty acids, they are transferred to muscle and heart and other adipose tissue. So it is again delivery of this fat and the fatty acids to other tissues. This is how it happens in blood. Okay. Okay. Again, let's go again a little bit more details for intestine. So we saw this picture on intestine here. We go to liver, and in the liver cholesterol is also produced, and then this little bit smaller size vehicles, very low density lipoproteins are formed, and they go by blood to all organs of all tissues of our body. Fatty acids and cholesterol are used, and then it is size of this lipoproteins is changing. First we have intermittent lipoproteins and low density lipoproteins, etc. And eventually low density lipoproteins, when they have not so much fat already inside, they go to the liver, and liver producing already high density lipoproteins. Okay, production of high density lipoproteins is a little bit more complicated. It's getting a little bit out of our the presentation. But okay, here again we see how the from intestine the fat is consumed and goes in steps and to produce this lipoproteins, and then to blood, etc. Okay, so here at this plot we see how the dynamics is happening. First we have this chylomicron big size vessels to transport from guts, to transport fat and fatty acids and glycerol and fatty acids and glycerol and monoglycerides, also transport the cholesterol to liver, and then liver producing this first very low density lipoproteins. They migrate by blood, they're transferred by blood, and they use the release the fatty acids and cholesterol are used by cells. And then we have intermittent density lipoprotein, smaller size, and then further then we have low density lipoproteins, even smaller size, etc., etc. And then at some level, when low density lipoproteins are already small size, relatively small size, they return to liver again, and liver producing already other substances, other vehicles which are high density lipoproteins, and liver also producing the bile. Bile is necessary to digest fat and to remove also toxins from our body. Okay, choline deficient diet results in liver dysfunction and especially non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Very, very dangerous stuff. And also it leads to what can develop liver cirrhosis, fibrosis, and even cancer. And non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is thought to impair mitochondrial function in liver, thus reducing fatty acid oxidation and increasing the production of reactive oxygen species, again in liver, that trigger DNA damage and apoptosis of some cells in the liver. Okay, what can help? And this betaine or choline and betaine is also substance which can help and can replace in some sense choline. So betaine, the 3-methylglycine is another methyl group donor which can reduce the body requirement for choline. 3-methylglycine is produced industrially and at relatively low cost, and we can use it as supplements. Choline is also available as substances, but much higher price, and this is again extracted from eggs, so much more reasonable to eat more eggs and to get enough choline. But extra, additionally, if you work hard and in the gym, then you certainly need additional supplements, which are betaine. Betaine is cheap. Betaine is cheap. You can buy it and use it in a few grams per day. There is yet strong opposition to consumption of eggs, dairy products, and meat, as well as choline and betaine supplements. Okay, this is again. Please remember, it's my opinion, of course, but again, I think I'm right, that medical care is not science. I try to go, I'm a professional scientist, and what I'm doing, I'm reading these publications. I try to make some conclusions, but some publications are not actually honest, because the industry and official medical care can pay for some experiments. Science is not cheap. And some people produce results of the tests such that it will satisfy the organizations that pay for this. They satisfy industry, food industry, and they satisfy medical care professionals and they keep and to confirm that all this advising not to make people sick and make them clients of the medical pharmaceutical industry and medical care professionals, but like it is like science. Okay, what kind of science it can be? Okay, well, again, as I said, it is necessary to read scientific publications and to think yourself, to have critical mind, and then decide yourself. And I think, as I'm professional, I can do it. So, there are, but as I said, there are some publications which claim that that problems that if people consume choline and betaine as supplements or eat too many eggs and meat, red meat, then it is bad. Because why it is bad? Because our microbiome can produce from this meat, and the supplements can produce toxic 3-methylamine and nitrogen oxide, which is toxic actually. Which is toxic. It's get into blood, and then in liver it is converted even to more dangerous toxins, and then it is probably damaging our damaging our heart and all this cardiovascular system, especially in elders. I would not deny the result of the research, so it was done smart way. It's all. It is not fake. It is real good research, but I point out that the condition on the condition of the experiment. Again, you can do experiments so that you will get any results we want. So especially for if you these elders consume so-called healthy diet and with most of carbohydrates as source of energy, then what is happening? Proteins are not digested. They are not digested, and meat, all this and the choline and betaine go directly to the large intestine. And in the large intestine, so-called unfriendly bacteria convert meat to very stinking substances, very toxic substances. So if these people are farting, it is disaster, complete disaster. Okay, so if you if you follow good diet, like I follow the carnivore diet, no farting at all. So everything is digested. Everything. The only problem is that not much of these excrements are produced because everything digested, everything go to blood. Okay. So it's and a little bit problem that we have good bacteria in the large intestine too, and these good bacteria, they need some food, and otherwise they will eat this mucus on the inside of the gut, which is not nice. And better we provide some food to this bacteria, good bacteria, so that this good bacteria will produce vitamins like biotin for us and other very good substances, and short chain fatty acids. So it is again, I never follow advice of the medical professionals. Sorry, again it is my opinion. But again, if you want to give food to this good bacteria, don't consume fibers. Fibers will damage the inside of your guts, and you will get cancer. Or you will get some very big complications. Instead, you consume so-called resistant starch. Resistant starch is potato starch or tapioca starch. Only to this kind of starch. You cannot use starch from rice, or you cannot use corn starch. It is no way. But these two starches are so-called resistant starches. They are not digested because we don't have enzymes to split them to glucose, and they go directly to the large intestine, and they are used in large intestine to produce some this good bacteria. It is used as food for good bacteria. These good bacteria, they make the content of the inside a little bit acidic, and then the peristaltics is activated, so everything go well, and especially with vitamin C, perfect. So perfect. Again, vitamin C is cleaning your guts actually, so it makes environment inside a little bit acidic, and with acidic environment inside, it is peristaltics is working quite well, and then every day you go to toilet and everything go well. It is no constipation. Everything is perfect, and no farting, no gas. If gas is produced, yes, it is produced, but it is mostly CO2 and hydrogen. And hydrogen go to the blood, and the hydrogen works as antioxidant. It is very good also for our body, together with short chain fatty acids and together with these vitamins. This is what I'm doing, and again, it's my opinion what is good to do. Okay, in our body, the process of methylation is going non-stop. Because why we need choline? This methylation is very important. It is to remove toxins, but not only. It is all functioning of DNA, all functioning of the this process inside includes methylation. Okay, in simple words, methylation is the addition of methyl group to some molecules. Okay, unbonding this group from molecules is called demethylation. Methylation affects the removal of toxins from the body. It also affects energy production and proper functioning of the immune system, maintenance of DNA, synthesis of neurotransmitters, etc., etc. So it's absolutely. This is why we need so much choline. Choline is absolutely necessary. It is methyl donor. Okay, the DNA methylation is a reversible process that is catalyzed by enzymes. And nutrients can reverse or change DNA methylation and histone modification, thereby modifying the expression of critical genes associated with aging. So we can reverse aging if we have enough of these donors of the methyl group, and plus diet, which is, to my opinion, has to be a high-fat carnivore diet. So we need a little bit more fat, not only meat. We have to, with carnivore diet, we have to eat fatty meat. Or also, I use coconut oil to increase the amount of fat in the diet, and so that my body is using fat as a source of energy, not the proteins. Proteins are, if you eat too little fat, it is then your body will produce glucose instead of using fat as source of energy, and will produce glucose in this gluconeogenesis. It is very complicated process. You will get more uric acid, and so don't do it. Don't do it. Just increase amount of fat and saturated fat in your diet. Like coconut oil is perfect for this purpose. Okay, we see here that DNA gets methylated, and methylation is the way to turn on or turn off the genes. So you see, we have all DNA the same in all the body, but some cells use different genes, and they work as bone cells or neurons or muscle cells, whatever. So you see that methylation is the way of epigenetics, the way to express some genes or suppress some genes. So it is very important. Again, we are not going very much inside. I rely on our body, that our body is smarter than we are, but we have to supply enough material for the body to do the maintenance. And we have to supply this choline and betaine also. Betaine also very important. This trimethylglycine, TMG, what I was talking about, is a functional metabolite of choline. It substitutes for choline nutritionally, but only particular. So you need choline, mostly from food. I think choline supplements are expensive, and anyway they're extracted from eggs. Why to buy supplements if you have to eat a lot of eggs? Minimum 10 eggs a day, like 6 or minimum 6 maybe. And Vince Gironda was talking about 36 eggs a day. If you already have big body and you want to grow further, you want to be a champion in bodybuilding, this is what you have to do. 36 eggs a day plus beef, plus some beef liver, etc., and some more supplements. Okay, for rejuvenation we don't need so heavy diet, but TMG or the betaine, very helpful, easy to buy, relatively cheap, and again it helps because it works together with choline. Choline you get from food, TMG from supplements, easy. Okay, demethylation of TMG produces what is, if you have this TMG as supplement, what is going, it is producing in our body, in the liver mostly, dimethylglycine, okay, dimethylglycine. And this dimethylglycine is It is when it was discovered first, it was considered as vitamin B16, so it is very, very useful. It is, of course, it is not vitamin because we produce this D-methylglycine from glycine from 3-methylglycine. Okay, so we can produce it, but yet it was suggested for use as an athletic performance enhancer and immunostimulator. So the betaine, you need betaine because when it is in your body, it works when it is works as first as donor of methyl groups. Then we have the dimethylglycine, and the dimethylglycine works further to improve athletic performance and also to stimulate our immune system, and this is absolutely necessary for rejuvenation. Okay, D-methylglycine is used to improve cardiovascular also system and skin health, and reduce also it is reducing lactic acid buildup and muscle fatigue during anaerobic exercises. Okay, it works a little bit complicated, so it is why it is reducing amount lactic acid, because fat is used as in this case more efficiently as a source of energy, and then this the storage of glycogen is saved, so we are not using too much glucose to produce energy during the anaerobic exercises. Then our body can go a little bit further in the use, in the burning of fat to produce energy, even if there is not enough of oxygen. But again, it's just your body work better. Okay. So here again you can click to read about the supplements more in more details. We have this trimethylglycine and dimethylglycine. Okay, that's, you see that here three group of methyl groups, here two. Nitrogen and all the other structures the same. Here OH, of course, and here OH. Okay, then again, it is my opinion. Again, I'm not so much crazy about growing of muscles, but when I follow all these ideas, which I actually getting this knowledge from scientific publications, and if I apply these protocols and the supplements wisely, then results are fantastic. First, I feel myself like a Superman. After a gym, I am so much full of this serotonin and dopamine. It is like I want to fly. It is amazing, just amazing how it works. And of course, I sleep better, I feel better, and muscles are growing. Muscles and strength is improving, muscles are growing. I'm amazed that in a relatively short term, I increase muscle mass, and it's amazing. Again, together with gym and supplements, make me feel younger, and also I see some improvement in my skin, for example. Okay, I will not go in many details because again, if it is research, then it has to be done properly with a placebo group and statistics. It is just anecdotal evidence that, and mostly for myself, because all this project, what I'm doing, reading scientific publications and making the video, it is only to structure knowledge of this, what I'm getting from science, structure this knowledge, and then to develop for myself some protocols and how to use supplements, and then I try some supplements work very well, and then I start to use them more and more, and then again, if they don't use, I give up, and so it is process, but I am quite satisfied that I believe and I see in my experience that certainly I see some signs of the rejuvenation. And it is not only rejuvenation of blood vessels, and not only blood vessels are getting more elastic, but also, to my surprise, skin is getting slowly. It again takes time. Slowly it gets more elastic, and so maybe in next videos I will talk more about the skin rejuvenation, because this is the part which I want to push further because it's more over clear what to do with exercises, what supplements to use, what protocols. Again, it just takes time to implement them. But skin, I know quite big bit, but I don't use this knowledge, so I have to refresh this knowledge and maybe understand again, to structure my knowledge a little bit better, and then I will develop some protocols and will use them to rejuvenate also skin, because my goal is to use this time, about a year, to show other people how it works on myself, because if it works for myself, I can slowly hire, to find some other volunteers, other people who want to follow such procedures, and then we can maybe spread this knowledge, or at least to use it as some maybe business. Because again, what is important, it's not only, again, I cannot praise everybody that yet some people ask, oh, why we have to appreciate your efforts? It's all available in internet. Okay, don't watch my videos, don't download my presentation, don't hear me. You have your medical professionals, follow the advice of these medical professionals. What will happen? I don't know, but I don't think you will live much longer than the average lifetime of the Western people or in your country. So, and I want to live much longer, and again, it is fun. It is fun. I was when some symptoms of aging started to appear in many few years ago, I was so much afraid. I think, oh, my life is getting too over, getting to finish. I don't want to die. No, it is. I'm not afraid of death, but I don't want to suffer from these degenerative diseases. I don't want to lose memory. I don't want to have this problem with my muscles, with my this all this sphincters, and also with my reproductive system, and okay, that's prostate gland, whatever. So I want to stay young, forever young. And when it works, I feel myself like a Superman. It is a great feeling. Okay, this you cannot buy it. You cannot buy it. And but again, even supplements is a part of it, and I have to pay money for this. Protocols are important. Protocols, what combination, how to take it, and gym exercises are very, very important. Very important. And I believe if properly done, then the exercises of this bodybuilding experience will rejuvenate all the body, because we have this what I was talking already in previous videos, that activation of this satellite cells. This is actually stem cells, and we activate them. We start to produce new tissues, which is young. New muscles are young. They produce secretive molecules, which are in opposite to the so-called senescent cells or zombie cells. They produce signal molecules which give the signal to all my body that we are young. We are young. We just were born a month ago. We are newborn baby. So everything will work. Like we have to rejuvenate our body. And the senescent cells, of course, it is other issue. I was doing some protocols to remove them. Okay, it's more or less clear what to do, but it takes time also. Okay, that's all. Thank you for your time. Again, I'm talking sometimes too much, and it is only again my opinion, my personal opinion. I am not professional, medical professional. I am not experienced athlete. It is just started recently. What I'm doing, it is, first of all, I do it for myself to structure knowledge, to get this understanding, and then to proceed. If you're watching this video, okay, thank you. But again, if you will not, it's no difference for me. Not much difference. Yet I appreciate questions, because when I work with students as a professional scientist, I used to have over students, and students ask me question, and then to answer the question I have to think, and think and improves my knowledge, because the best way to learn anything it is to teach something or teach somebody. Okay, this, well, if you will ask questions, if I have time, I will answer. Okay, again, thank you for your time. Have a good day. Ciao, ciao.